Welcome to Morons Mince Movies. I am your host, Moron Sam Munoz, and I'm here with my fellow moron, Ublester Peñalosa II, and special guest, moron, Arturo something or other.
His last name is very difficult to remember.
Yeah.
Arturo.
Hi, everyone.
Arturo something.
Yeah.
How's it going?
What's up, man?
No,
Welcome.
thank you for having me, man. I'm really, really happy to be here.
I'm so excited
Happy to
because
have
this is
you.
our first. I know I haven't mentioned this yet to you, Uble, but this is our first Mince Movies where we have a guest.
What?
I am honored and humbled.
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
And-
actually, you're right, Sam. Now that you mention it, we've never had a guest.
No,
for
it's
our
always been
Morons
just
Mince
us
Movies.
two. Yeah.
I think
so-
because we felt like there was no one else that could mince movies to that level, the way we do.
to the finite
Yes.
pieces that we get into it.
But we have a contender here, Arturo. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, and might I say, as a listener of Morons Make Sense and Morons Makes Mince Movies, it is an absolute pleasure to be here.
Shit, you're just saying that.
Thank you.
No,
I call
straight up.
bullshit. I call bullshit. You have not seen a single one of our episodes.
I've seen the Fatherhood episode. I've seen the Batman 1989
of
episode.
course. Yeah,
Oh.
I would have expected you to watch those. Yeah, all
I would have been
masterpieces.
disappointed in
meant to watch
myself
more.
watching the Batman '89 episode.
Yeah, wasn't that our first or second?
That was our second, because
It
the
was our
first one was
second,
the
was
Avengers
Infinity-
one,
yeah, Avengers.
which was actually I thought pretty good. 'Cause
Yeah.
we were
It
very
was
opposite sides. On
The
that one.
early stages of
the Mince Movies saga.
But now we are here. What are we going to be doing today, you guys?
We are going to be doing a recently released movie called Nope, directed by Jordan Peele, produced and
Nope.
written by him as well.
Nope.
So I just saw this like 4 hours ago, so
Nice.
it's
Yeah,
really
it's
fresh
fresh.
in my mind.
It's fresh.
I have my initial thoughts, and I'm ready.
All right,
And
Arturo,
I-
when did you see it?
I saw it on Wednesday, and I just remember being videotaped.
Yeah, we are being videotaped.
Wait,
He's new
It's so
to all of
exciting.
this.
I've been looking at you guys the entire time, and then I keep seeing you guys look in that direction, and I
Yeah.
was like, "What are we looking at?" And then
Yeah,
I'm
look
like,
at
"Oh,
our
it's all right. You can look
That's
at
right.
us, or you
I
can
mean,
look at the
I
camera.
probably
It's all,
will.
it's all
It's
good.
very hard
it's all
to
good.
look away from like me and Sam.
exactly."
So I
You're
get
a
it.
very attractive gentleman.
You
know,
saw it on
happens.
Wednesday. Sam saw it a few hours ago. I saw it on Saturday of last week. So my memory being what it is, I might need some refreshers on things, but I think I got most of it. So
So, general thoughts. Let's start with the general thoughts. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Maybe a grade or what you recommended.
I really enjoyed myself. I would probably go as far as to say that I love this movie.
Wow.
Yeah, it had to do with a topic that I really am into. More to be discussed later, but
Aliens.
aliens.
I was going to say, are we getting into spoiler territory?
Yeah.
Should
Oh,
we
yeah.
have, like,
We're
given the
all
audience a
spoilers
heads
here.
up?
Well,
Fuck
right
around.
now we're not doing spoilers yet, but we
Yeah.
will get to
I mean,
spoilers.
yeah.
So, but with
So
general
we'll-
thoughts,
That's
if you
true.
liked
That's
it.
true.
Transition.
Yeah. Okay.
So just for general thoughts, I fucking loved it. There were some parts that I was like, wasn't a huge fan of, but overall, I give it a fucking. I know you're fucking hardcore about your grades.
No,
dude.
what,
You're
I
gonna
mean,
give me
you
a
do the
hard
numbering
time.
thing now. Like,
I do. That's why I'm trying to fucking figure out if.
think
this
about
is-
it. We can give the grades at the end
Okay,
of the day.
perfect.
At the end of the
perfect.
recording.
General
All right.
thoughts,
Arturo.
I had a magnificent time with it. It was, I mean, it's harder for me to watch movies. I have a 6-month-old at home. So this is one of the rare occurrences where my wife and I were able to go see a movie. So everything means more now.
Yeah.
And I had an absolutely great time with it. I think it was very much a spectacle of a film in such a great way. And I was thoroughly entertained, and I thought it was really interesting.
All right, Sam.
I was disappointed.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. I fucking knew it. I knew it. Why, Sam? Why? Was it not up here for you?
So I really loved Get Out. I thought that was a masterpiece. It was in my top 10 of that year. I think it was like my number 2 or 3 of the movie of the year.
Get out of here.
I didn't really like Us. I actually thought that was kind of a bad movie.
Wow.
I had a lot of problems with it. So I was kind of, I had some high hopes for this one. I was hoping like this would be more back to like the Get Out sort of masterpiece type
The
of
roots.
movie. And I just felt very like it wasn't terrible. The movie ended and I was just like, Okay. I was like, yeah, all right.
Were you expecting to be in tears, or were you expecting to have a new life view? Or
I guess.
I'm confused.
I wanted to have like my mind blown. Give me some mystery. Give me some.
Okay.
The thrills were there were some thrills in there.
Expectations were too high, bro.
Maybe.
You walk into a movie with that.
But it's Jordan Peele.
You have no one to
so
blame but yourself.
No, I don't blame myself. I blame the director.
Oh wow!
Because he's created certain types of movies that I haven't expected. I mean, when you go into a Christopher Nolan movie, you're not fucking expecting, Thor Ragnarok or some other crappy Marvel movie.
Carefully.
Interestingly enough.
Carefully.
I'm gonna hit low.
This motherfucker wants a fight.
Interestingly enough, I love that you brought that up because, like, is it okay or not okay to expect a certain thing from a director in the sense of, like, for example, you listen.
Good question.
Jordan Peele's a newer director. We've seen Get Out, we've seen Us, we have now seen Nope, and we have gotten. Although there are similar DNA aspects, I guess you could say, ultimately in the underlying aspect of it, but we are given 3 different projects that are very different in style and feel and scope.
And I like that.
They're definitely different in style and the story, but they have a similar sort of feel to them.
Of course, because
they're all horror movies.
It helps that he's the writer director. Yeah, and so you're always going to have that. But is Jordan Peele going to become, I feel at this point, a director where you're not entirely sure of what to expect? And is that a good thing, or do you always want to know what you're getting into?
Well, I'm gonna take it back. I don't think the 3 movies are actually that different. All 3 of them are psychological thriller horror movies. They're in the same genre. The thing is that I felt Get Out was a little bit more thought-provoking and had some great themes in there. And the performances were good. The story in general was just all very tight and well done. And I actually liked that it was a bit formulaic, but also was kind of transcending that sort of horror genre formula that I liked about that one.
Yeah.
And then Us had a similar sort of horror feel and everything like that.
Us made me uncomfortable in such a great way.
That's the thing. I wasn't uncomfortable. There were so many plot holes in that movie with regards to the people on the underground.
So let me ask you, do you think it has to do with that? Because Get Out, even though it's far-fetched, still has a sense of like, okay, this can happen. This might be something that can.
It's not about whether it can happen. It's just if the story gives you certain rules within that world, and then it breaks them without any explanation whatsoever.
That is a big thing
that
for
to
you.
me is like that you've made a narrative mistake here. Like you can't just like all of a sudden change the rules without any explanation and just accept that we're just gonna have to accept it.
The suspension of disbelief.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
No, it's suspension of disbelief is part of like, okay, I'm in a world where elves exist.
I was saying that alone is a topic exactly.
But then if those in that world, if those elves are meant to be very good looking or they're smart or whatever, they're immortal, but then all of a sudden one dies of a disease or something. Like, wait a minute, that's not elves. Like, why did that happen? Is there some elf cancer?
Why are you assuming
you have to? But why you have to explain that there is some elf cancer involved.
So what would it take, Sam? Would it take another elf to be like, man, I fucking told him to watch out for that elf cancer? Cut scene. You'd be like, oh, okay, good. They explained it. There's elf cancer in this universe. Let's move on.
I mean, that would be at least something. In Us, there was no explanation. You have this. We're talking about Us when we should be talking about Nope.
That's true. Okay, let's
maybe we'll mince Us another day. Maybe we should do this
we'll
do
a Jordan Peele trilogy episode. But for now, Nope.
Nope. I didn't have any problems with the plot. The plot is pretty simple. I think there's not like plot holes or anything like that. But it was just kind of basic and kind of just sort of. It was just.
You're referring to that plot twist as basic?
What's the plot twist? Wait. Okay, so then let's get into spoiler alert now. So I'll give my grade later, but
what was the budget on this, by the way, producer? Put you on the spot. Got you.
IMDb is your friend, producer. IMDb, just right there. IMDb. No. Budget. No. IMDb. Go back.
Why are you using Bing?
There you go.
Use Google.
Go all the way down.
Don't use Bing.
Why are we? He can. Let's continue. Wait. So
anyway.
what is the twist that it's not really a spaceship?
Yeah,
it's an animal, an alien.
I love that.
See, I wouldn't say it's a
That's
twist.
not much of a twist to me.
I wouldn't say it's a twist.
First of all, with that, I'm sorry.
Go,
First
please,
of all, with
please.
that, this, Daniel Kaluuya, with I forget his name in the movie.
Magnificent. Yes, OJ.
But the performance,
Jr.
yeah,
How
OJ.
could
There
you
you go.
forget OJ?
Yeah, that's right.
By the way, there was a scene in the movie where OJ is on a Bronco running away from the police. I'm pretty sure that was going on, and I was like,
On purpose.
"What the
Yeah,
fuck?"
that and his orange sweater was on purpose.
68
My
million.
understanding.
Thank you.
That's not a big budget.
No.
68 million?
Yeah,
It's
no.
cheap.
Okay. Before we get into
Please.
I do want to say some positives because
Yeah.
I tend to want to start with positive. I think the visual effects are really good. Visual effects were pretty good. All around, even like the chimp and everything, which I think was not a real chimp, was
No,
very
it was,
good.
yeah.
No, it was
Very
not.
good visual effects. In fact, I think it's good enough that it might get some recognition. Cinematography was fine. It was good. Like the technical elements of the movie. Jordan Peele is a good director, and he has good people around him, and he makes well-made movies.
Yeah,
I
he
think
does.
the problem here is the story again. The story, the writing, and that's Jordan Peele, and yeah, So I say, technically speaking, it's a well-made movie, but the story to me was just kind of like, so yeah, let's go back to what you were saying.
Well, I agree with everything, which is visually, I fucking loved it. There was no parts where I was like, well, this is obviously filmed in front of a green screen, or wow, what a cheap fucking special effect that was. Like, that didn't happen at all. Sorry. That didn't happen at all throughout the movie. Acting, I felt, was solid. I didn't see anyone and think to myself, well, this motherfucker's just channeling it in. He's not. She or he is not acting. I didn't feel that.
Acting was good, but these
I
characters weren't like
I won't
complicated or like, you know.
They weren't supposed to be complicated. I think they were. If anything, they were supposed to be the opposite of that, which is just the simple folk running a ranch out in the outskirts of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And for every once in a while, they get called by a studio to provide an animal for a TV show or something. And they are now taken out of their comfort zone, which is a ranch out in the middle of nowhere, and put into this Hollywood studio. So I wasn't expecting them to be complicated or like it's something that
it's. Maybe we should tell a little about the story.
If
If
I may, though,
Go for it.
so was the idea that we have Otis and his sister running this horse ranch.
Yeah.
Who the horses work with Hollywood and work with effects and that thing, and figuring out how a domestic creature works within the context of movies and such. And we have all of Gordy's story, the chimpanzee, and how that went fucking wild.
Yeah.
All those things translate.
To the bigger
alien.
theme. Yeah.
And then how do you approach it? How do you attack that? Like, I mean, in the sense of like where this, like, that's your story.
Yeah.
I got that. I actually kind of think that's kind of cool, and it's something that's actually kind of close to my heart because I don't like animals being used, for people's pleasure. I fucking hate bullfighting. I think bullfighting is like 100% evil, and people who like bullfighting or participate in it should be killed.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Maybe in an arena with
by the
people
bull.
watching.
I think the bull should take the matador and just fucking kill him. Anyways, so I liked all that, and all that stuff is kind of close to my heart. But the thing is that they treat this. It doesn't really matter in the end. The alien is just, I guess the point is that the alien is treated kind of like how the chimp was being treated. Yeah. But the alien is fucking killing people.
Yeah. But not.
So it's almost like it's lost. The whole like metaphor is lost. The whole connection with wanting to maybe side with the alien is lost.
No,
you're siding with the humans the whole time. You don't. Yeah. Why would
really.
I side with the alien? Why?
I'm sorry. I had some sympathy for this alien because, for all you know, this alien didn't purposely come to this planet with the intention of killing. Just like an ant, I gotta fucking stop.
But we get no backstory or anything as to why the alien is there.
It's left to the
what
viewer
it's doing.
discretion.
But but if you do need it, if the point is, and maybe this wasn't the point, for us to sort of feel for the animal, because I feel for the chimp, and even though we don't get as much of we get more of a backstory on the chimp actually, than we do of the alien. But I feel for the chimp, and I feel like it wasn't his fault that he went crazy and killed those people. But for the alien, there's nothing. There's nothing.
I think that's the purpose of it, that we are seeing the backstories of these other creatures and which way, like for example, for me, when it hit differently, which bounce off your topic, is when it opened up and became like this jellyfish type thing. And you got to see a different aspect of it. And we are getting these backstories of these creatures, which we now associate with said alien because it's a similar situation. Like we don't need the added because then it brings down the film, and then now you're complaining, not necessarily you. But now we're complaining that now we're getting too much.
Yeah.
A lot of it is for you to close up those dots.
I like that. I like that Jordan allows the viewer to make that connection themselves without him having to spoon feed it to you.
But the connection is made, but there's no emotional attachment whatsoever with the alien. It starts even when it changes, when it was like changing and everything like that. What the fuck is this thing?
Did you like Jaws?
Is it a parachute?
This reminded me of...
I mean, there's plenty. There's actually... Yes, on the Jaws. And then there are plenty of animals that actually have that in the natural world.
This reminded me a lot of Jaws, which is... When I watched Jaws, I didn't necessarily see the shark as like an evil villain that was purposely trying to kill humans. I just saw it as...
It was purposely trying to kill humans. That one's definitely like a monster shark.
It was just
we were not meant to side with the
fish in the water.
Bruce
and
is
we're trespassing in its territory, or what it thinks is its territory, and it's defending its home. And I felt that way with this movie, which, by the way, let me go back and say, I really liked the fact that Jordan portrayed a UFO in this way that we haven't seen before, which is this isn't a vessel carrying aliens, which is what I thought it was going towards, especially when the next door neighbor's kids dressed up as aliens and they were kind of just scaring him. I was like, okay, this is a movie about an alien spaceship carrying aliens inside of it, tormenting this poor rancher. Then you find out, spoilers, that it's not necessarily a vessel, it's the alien itself that took the shape of a vessel, of a donut, and was hiding within the clouds. By the way, I don't know about you guys, I have been fucking taking mental notes on every fucking single cloud that is in my sky, because if I see a cloud that hasn't moved, it's a fucking alien. You can't change my mind about it.
That's one problem I had in terms of like a plot hole. So it takes the shape of clouds, but there's no explanation as to how it manages to take even though the shape of it is a donut, but somehow it's able to stop a cloud from moving. Like the cloud doesn't move for fucking days.
Hold on, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like you're leaping to that within your own context.
Yeah,
like for all you know, it reflects the cumulus nimbus or whatever.
Yeah, no, but the clouds move. So if you reflect it, it would. Over time, it would move away.
Now you're limiting it to it within the three dimensions you experience.
No, you're making excuses for a bad character
this is science
development
fiction.
Of
science
the alien.
Fiction.
Exactly.
You still have to develop the character.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
So listen,
all fiction develops characters.
Please let
and
me
the
ask
alien
you
is
this.
a character.
Let me ask you this: you really enjoyed, and I know you really enjoyed everything.
Everywhere,
all the time,
all at once.
Forever, all at once. I keep fucking.
That is a masterpiece,
right?
No, that is a masterpiece.
Let me ask you this: did they provide you with any context on the devices that they use to travel?
They do.
Were you like, oh, wait a minute? They say that there's.
They actually explain
what
all of
battery size are they using to run these devices? But here's the
thing: they actually.
Now hold on a second. They have hot dog fingers. Are those beef or chicken franks? They didn't explain.
No. Like you're talking about being like pedantic and like getting in like super picky stuff. This is like a major plot point in the movie where
it's just
the alien hides as a cloud.
You have
and can somehow make the cloud stop moving.
You have to assume as a viewer that if this creature has the ability to shapeshift, hover in the air, and fucking suck up human beings.
But reflecting a cloud is too out of your system.
No. Wait.
Like they didn't explain.
All of that,
it's like the argument.
All of that is part of like, his thing. It's part of him.
It's like they explain how it flies.
It's all the arguments I remember in Game of Thrones. People have all these complaints about it. But you accept dragons as existing, but everything else is.
Wait. You guys are making that bad argument of like, because we have dragons, that therefore we don't have to follow any kind of logic. The world gives you rules within this with logic. Rules within this world, and if it breaks the rules,
if this was
then it
a
has to give an
documentary,
explanation.
First of all, let's not bring up Game of Thrones anymore.
Here's the thing: it's a minor
fucking sore in my heart,
and
I will never forgive Dumb and Dumber for fucking up seasons 6, 7.
You can't call them Dumb and Dumber when they created the first 5 seasons as well.
They did not create. They adapted.
They adapted
seasons 1 through
seasons 5,
1 through 6, and then they had
to do their own shit, and they fucked it up. So yes, I could blame Dumb and Dumber.
That's also George R.R. Martin's fault for not finishing the books and still not finishing the books.
Let's fucking throw him into the fire as well.
Back to Nope.
Yeah, back to Nope. I'm saying that at least these things that you're sticking to, which is
it's a minor clout. The clout thing's a minor issue. I don't bring the movie down just because of that. I could have overseen that if the movie as a whole was just better. Yeah, but it wasn't to me. I mean the Steve Young's character, which by the way is a very interesting character that I wish they would have gone more into. Like I was really into his character. In fact, the movie kind of starts with.
I'll give you that. I want more of that.
About him. Yep. It's almost more about him than it is about OJ. Yeah. But yet a spoiler again. We've already given the many spoiler alerts, but he gets killed like halfway in the movie.
Yeah, I expected him to live.
And then you're like, well, now what's the whole point of the Gordy thing? Yeah. And like, I guess it's just for me to it's just for me to have the connection.
You went over your head. We were talking about.
No, it didn't go over my head. Again, I get that the connection, but again, there's no. If the connection was there, like I'm supposed to feel sorry for this alien the same way that I'm supposed to feel sorry for the chimp, it didn't work for me. He didn't do enough of a good job for me, and it became just another kill the monster type of thing towards the end. It's like we just got to kill the monster,
which is the sad part of this movie. That's what he's.
But he is a monster. It's a monster. It's a monster that's killing humans, and you have to stop it. You have to survive. The chimp isn't out there to just kill humans. The chimp is actually being used for human pleasure, and it's being held against its will. Maybe for the most part, we don't know, but it's just like the horses are another example of it, right? They're also being used for show, even though its trainer at least takes care of him and tries not to hurt them and things like that. And then there is enough there for us to kind of make that connection, but again, there's no reason for me to care for this alien. There's just nothing there for me to care.
Regardless of whether or not I was supposed to care for the alien, I really liked that concept of the UFO being a living thing that is taking the shape of a UFO. I like the idea of it sucking up living organisms, digesting them, and then shooting out all the undigestible stuff, fucking coins and car keys, which is what basically sets this whole movie up.
How unsettling was that, by the way? Just experiencing that.
Where his dad dies.
David, the voice of Goliath, gargoyles.
Yeah,
I immediately recognized that. Yeah. But
he's in other stuff you would recognize.
I know, but that's immediately what clicked with me. But just the idea, like I loved how, I love not having all the answers. When we enter a movie.
Yes, but what was not answered? I mean, it was like there's no mystery in this movie. There's nothing.
Wait, you just said we didn't get the alien explained.
Why didn't the alien show up? Why didn't the alien show up?
You had all these questions about the alien. But again, there was no mystery.
Yeah, but again, we don't care in the end. We don't care that there's no backstory because the alien is not something we sympathize for. That's so in the end, it becomes just another monster movie.
You would have sympathized more if you had more backstory on the alien.
Of course.
What if they
that's how characters are developed.
Exactly. So that's
but he's just a faceless alien donut thing.
How do you know it's a he?
or whatever.
It was a sheep.
I
not
definitely
binary.
saw a penis. There was a penis in there somewhere, especially when he opened up into its butterfly.
You would be looking for that.
It was doing. I think it was actually trying to mate, like a bird. You know, it opens up its feathers, and it's
interestingly
and
enough,
it saw the balloon, the Stevie Young balloon, and it was just like, oh, I'm about to fuck this balloon right here.
Yeah.
Up until this conversation, I never even thought about whether or not I was able to sympathize with the alien.
Oh, you didn't care?
No, to me, I mean, up until now, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was so enthralled with the story and the humans. And being exposed to the story.
Sam has a hard time relating to other humans. He more relates to the Horus or the aliens, but he didn't think about this in the
I didn't care for the
viewpoints
humans that much either. Like, I actually, again, I really was interested in Steve Young's character.
You're so racist.
But again, he died, huh?
You're such a racist.
Why? Because they're black?
I didn't even say that. You see? That
why did you say I'm racist then?
That I'm related to this movie.
But then why? All I said was I didn't care for the characters. All I said was I didn't care.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
I'm supposed to care for them just because they're black. Is that that's what you're trying to say?
And Chinese.
I cared for Steve Young's character. That's why I wanted more of him.
Yeah.
He actually had a whole story that was interesting.
Yeah, no,
was he Latino or was he Middle Eastern?
He looked Middle Eastern to me.
Yeah, he looked Middle Eastern.
I mean, his last name Pereira.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't remember his last name. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, see,
Angel Torres, yeah, he was definitely Latino in the movie.
That did come strange to me because how quick this Fry's employee was.
I mean, if you
Like,
hold on.
Yeah,
if you've ever worked
trust
fucking
me.
retail, you will take any fucking excuse
to get out. Oh, I gotta go install this guy's camera late.
Anything,
especially if it has to do with like mysterious cameras being posted out in the middle
for
of nowhere.
everyone else who has worked retail.
Yeah, have a drink. But that was weird. And then
the cinematographer. The cinematographer where they get like all of a sudden.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
He's
that
like super
guy.
mysterious, raspy, deep voice.
You're gonna get the impossible shot. I'm gonna be on top of the mountain. I'm Batman.
Was it Christian Bale? Who?
I think so. It was.
Shit.
That
we are
was
hitting
a little.
things today. We are.
That was a little off-putting. Again, that's why I wasn't so quick to be like fucking 10. You know, A+. There was parts where.
Even though they never show that, you know, because so the alien kills everybody in Steve
Which
Young's.
was super brutal, by the way.
Yeah, it was
I loved
cool.
seeing that.
That scene was cool.
Those screams haunted me for a while.
It was cool. It wasn't like super brutal, but it was cool. I liked it.
For example, like I think we're so used to like, oh, you know, someone got, you know, lifted up by the spaceship, and then like they just get transported into a room. Like this but now we fucking see them get digested.
Yep. Yeah,
that was
cool.
so visceral.
In the digestive tube.
Like
and they're still able to yell.
Fuck, you're alive during that process.
Yep.
Like I haven't seen anything like that.
That shit. And see, as a person who loves all things aliens and unexplained flying objects. This movie, Phenomena. This movie was a fucking 10 for me because it gave a different approach to the flying saucer. Mm-hmm. This was entirely different from anything that I have ever seen involving a flying saucer abducting living organisms off of Earth. It made it the flying saucer.
Abducting is the wrong word. Like eating.
Fine, eating. Yeah. And then the whole way they brought it down, which is just like a fucking animal or a vacuum sucks up something that they shouldn't, that they cannot digest. It'll either block their airway or they'll try to throw it up. So
I think he like pops like a balloon.
Yeah.
I think it's like a callback to what happens in the whole Gordy incident where it was the balloons that pops that actually gets.
Yeah. See, so I liked that concept. I liked that it was at least somewhat grounded, where it's like, that's how you would bring down this flying object that you don't have the missiles to shoot at it. You don't have the lasers that it would need. What's the most practical way?
I liked that it was just normal people trying to figure out, some sort of way to do it.
Like it wasn't like, set this up so it sucks up this balloon and it'll choke on it and then it'll fucking die and that's it. We're gone.
There's something there's one thing that's interesting about the movie that it's the only thing that I found maybe was a little deeper was that everybody wanted to document this thing. Like everybody was
Yeah.
obsessed with documenting it. You know, like finding out how to get that's why the cinematographer comes in, because he gets he gets an old school
shot.
cranking.
Even to the point of the TMZ
and then
reporter.
Yeah, the TMZ reporter, which comes
TMZ.
out of fucking nowhere.
Out of nowhere. I did not like the TMZ reporter.
Fucking like what the fuck?
Everyone hated him.
Just to make sure that there's a bike in the
But it also drove
scene.
that point home harder of the idea that everything needs to be documented. And he kept saying, take a picture, do this. Where's my camera?
As he's dying, he's on the floor. He's like,
give me my phone.
Camera. Give me my phone. What are you doing?
I mean, in this day and age, that's all too real. That's all too fucking real. Like...
But that it's weird because that theme seems almost separate from what the general themes of the movies were. I mean, I think the general themes of the movies was sort of this, using animals for our pleasure, for our entertainment, abusing them in certain sense, and things like that, and how they are, natural beings who will retaliate when they've had enough and things of that sort. That's the kind of themes that I got.
It reminded me of Siegfried and Roy.
Yes.
Where they mentioned Siegfried and Roy
in
the movie.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, which is So, but then you have this whole other theme, which is about like the voyeurism that's happening from the humans, and like I'm not sure if that was meant to be like, oh, we still want to capture this animal doing things, vague, we still want to see the drama or whatever like that.
I mean, I'd say so.
I mean, the cinematographer ends up sacrificing himself just to get the perfect shot or whatever.
Did he sacrifice himself? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, there's things of today in this day and age where people are like killing themselves for getting that shot, and we've seen people fall and get into horrible accidents. We've seen things where
stupid influencers hanging off the fucking edge of a building and to get that selfie.
They have, and then to make it even worse, where people are exploiting their children for that shit. YouTubers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and people will do some crazy shit for the views.
That's a reflection of this world right now. This is
and that was an interesting theme.
Yeah, it's not.
That's an interesting theme in the movie, and I like that part, but it felt so separated from what was going on in the rest of the movie, and it just felt like it was something that was kind of tacked on to maybe give it a little bit another idea that maybe he wanted. It just wasn't.
You tried too much. You flew too close to the sun. If you had stayed a few miles away from the sun and not tried to do these different things all at once, it probably would have been better.
That was his issue in Us. This one was just like that theme just didn't fit. Like everything else kind of fit, and it was a little bit more like tight, but just that part of it was just like everybody's so obsessed with it. Like is it more about the voyeurism that I'm supposed to be thinking about, and how we we have to capture these animals, entertain ourselves with these animals, or make them into a commodity. I don't know. Mostly, honestly, by the end of the movie, I was like, this movie is not. It wasn't thought provoking enough for me to like keep thinking about it. I was just kind of like, okay, whatever.
So you were looking for thought provokes.
Of course. I mean,
you weren't just looking.
Jordan Peele's other movies, I think, were meant to be thought provoking. I think this movie, even though it didn't get me in that way, I think it was meant to be thought provoking.
It was definitely the closest to a popcorn movie that he's made, I guess you could say. And to me, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah,
but
it's not a bad thing.
I feel like that is where this was more leaning towards. I mean, I was thoroughly entertained. I'm also kind of easy to entertain, I guess.
No,
I'm also overly positive. I'm sorry.
You're an Uble. I can't remember.
I can talk negatively on a movie.
What movie have you given less than a fucking 9 in this thing? Producer, can you confirm?
I've given movies
a 9.
9.5.
Well, anything else you guys want to bring up before?
I did. Just on a lighter note. Now that it no longer exists, how did you guys feel about seeing Fry's on the screen?
Fry's Electronics. Holy shit, you're right.
It went
Fry's
under
is
just
no more.
like during the pandemic.
I'm a Circuit City kind of guy.
Circuit City
long gone. When Circuit City went down, I refused to buy electronics.
I'm all about Radio Shack.
I went pure Amazon.
Radio Shack.
Radio Shack.
Micro Center in Tustin.
Radio Shack is the electronics store for like the homeless. Wow.
Meaning you don't have all the budget from being an only child. I had to split my wealth between 2 other kids, so I had to go to Radio Shack.
No, I want to go to a store where the front of the store looks like a red plug. That's what.
True.
The one on Bristol, right?
That's right, baby.
Yeah,
also,
man.
And it was also Marketplace too. Tesla Marketplace.
Yeah,
they all had that.
Yeah, that was the thing, man. I loved going into that. When I was a kid, I was like, I'm going into a fucking wire. I think.
Like I remember for me at Circuit City, like always remembering it, always was thing. But then I never realized how dark and gloomy it was until Best Buy opened up.
Oh,
and it was fucking
they're all
bright
and
holy
positive.
Shit,
yeah.
that looks depressing. No. Like, I don't think I want to go back in there.
I don't think I like Circuit City.
That's my kind of store.
It was
depressing.
I walked in and I was like, "This is not a fucking city. This is a block at most, a municipal."
It was always huge. Always.
Definitely not a village. Nowhere near a township, but fucking not a city. So yeah, no, fuck Circuit City.
Should have called it Circuit Town.
Circuit block.
But then you wouldn't have the alliteration, you know.
That's true. Yeah, Circuit.
I was just gonna say it was the one in Burbank though with the spaceship because every Fry's is themed differently. It was themed differently.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know.
Like the one in Costa Mesa was like Greek mythology. Goes. I guess what the part of the thing was whatever store they took over, they kept things from it.
Oh,
and the one in Birmingham was spaceship.
There you go.
My wife Maya had been to it, and she pointed it out. I'm like, oh, very
Learn
cool.
something new every day, everybody.
And to go off of kind of your thing of disbelief and this and that, the most I feel hardest thing to digest or the most implausible thing in the entire movie was the fact that there was no line to the cashier.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And Fry's was so empty. There was
Fry's was always fucking packed.
I know. There was only like one other employee who just shows up out of nowhere.
That's true. Yeah. No. Yeah. Wait,
also,
in real life
also the customers and also the employees. Like when you in real life, you get into a Fry's.
There was a fucking line for days.
The cashiers is like a block. It's like a bar of cashiers. It's not just like one line. It's a bar.
That's where it fell apart for you.
No.
Fell apart for you at the Fry's.
That's the thing you always argue about. Like, okay, do we need to see them like stand in line?
Yeah.
You know this and that. You don't. But
it's
just like the thing. And you think that I was being picky because a major plot point of the alien hiding behind the clouds is it's not like a cloud at all.
It was the Fry's.
They didn't explain if that was AC or DC power. So what's going on here? This is unbelievable.
The way I took it is I pretended he was like a thing off to the side, like the one Target cashier that's in the back of the electronics, where technically you can ring up all your items at.
Yeah.
That's how I just
secret
pretended it was.
Anyway, I give this movie, I'd say an 8.75.
An 8.75?
8.75.
Nice. Yeah. You are actually under a 9. So this is like the worst movie you've seen.
No,
this
that's
is the
not
worst
true.
movie you've seen in all the movies we've minced.
No, that's not true, man. Oh, it may be. We haven't minced a whole lot of movies, though. We've just minced movies that I've liked.
Yeah.
That would also have a lot to take.
Do you give this movie a grade? Are you a grader?
I'm a smiley face guy. I have a ratio of smiley faces.
Okay, what's the ratio?
It's the smiley face with the grin on it. With the teeth.
Wait, but I need to know the levels though. Like, what's the lowest smiley face?
The lowest smiley face is actually not even a smiley face. It's just the 2 dots. And then it's just the 2. Okay,
so there's no unsmiley face.
Wait, how many levels first?
Well, here's the thing with my ratings. Okay, because me personally, like I guess I am a very optimistic person. I try to look at the positive side of the silver linings within films. And to me, I rate things off of whether I want to see them immediately. We watch them immediately. Rewatch them like at some point. I guess I'll rewatch them with a friend. Not really interested in ever rewatching it, or you know what? I'll
stream this.
I'm never rewatching this ever again.
But I still enjoyed it. But I'm never gonna touch foot anywhere near this.
Like
I don't want to be in the house while this shit's playing.
So that's what my smiley faces aren't according to. So it's more rewatchability. Okay. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to.
Rewatchability.
So is this rewatchable?
Oh fuck yeah! But it's not something I will immediately rewatch. Right. But if a friend wants to go right now, let's fucking go.
Yeah,
so
I had a great time with
like
it.
A B+ maybe or something like that.
It's just under
I need
like
to translate. I need you
to
translate your weird fucking scale of smiley faces
when we get to the
dots for eyes down to numbers so that I can understand it.
No, I like it. I like it. It's interesting system.
All right, Sam, what's yours?
Give
me your obscure fucking rating. Don't give me your grade obscure. Levels.
I always do grades.
I know.
I don't have obscure. When we get to the film criticism episode, I'll go in deep into my system. But I give this a C+. C+ for me. which
Not even a B.
When I think of grades, I think of back to the essays I wrote and like what they were
easy essay.
Those
C+. It's a little bit. It's basically an average movie for me.
It's like you try
with it has some good stuff in there. It's it's well made, but in terms the story just didn't get to me. There's no emotional, I had no real affect to it. There was nothing that really affected me in any kind of way.
Yeah.
There's some minor thrills here and there. It's just C+.
Look,
C+.
You're free to have your own opinion. It's wrong,
even though it's wrong.
Yeah, you're free to have it.
I thought Nope was dope. So.
I give it a B+. You ultimately give it a C+. Arturo, I think you give it a B+.
I think so. Ultimately, if it comes down to grades, yeah.
So me and Arturo are on the same page, B+,
yeah.
and then you got C+ over here.
Well, guys, I really think we minced this movie pretty well.
I think we did.
This was good
great.
mincing.
Yeah,
we cut this shit down.
Fun, man.
No, producer, we didn't mince it.
No,
and I
He's
really
shaking his head
enjoyed like the different like opinions and you know, coming to see like perspectives. I love that. I love being able to see from different like viewpoints.
Yeah. I know where Sam's coming from. Again, he's wrong, but I know where he's coming from.
No.
Anyways,
this is the Morons Mincers signing off.
Yeah. Adios.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, sorry. Like and subscribe. Join our YouTube. We're on Spotify and Apple. My producer scolded me the other day that I'm supposed to say this shit. So
shit. You didn't tell me anything.
We gotta
don't have anything like an auto roll at the end.
We do.
Join our MySpace. What's our MySpace?
I think it's MySpace/Morons Makes Sense.
It's www.
We're on Facebook, Instagram.
MySpace.
All that. Just look up Morons Make Sense. Did I do a good job?
See all the links below.
Yeah. Links below.
Are there going to be links below?
Put it at the beginning. I'm going to cut this part and just put it at the beginning.
Yeah. Anyway, watch.
Thank you for having me.
Good night. Bye-bye.